to our third map, Train. And the desk, they seem to be leaning towards the Dane, and I can't blame them. Maybe bring in the pain, there's no doubt. Henry and myself ready to reside and check in on this pistol. We're jumping straight into the action. Let's see how this first one starts off.
Yeah, Astralis certainly the heavy favorites going into this matchup, but they do start on the T side here. There's one smoke thrown towards a connector already, and a bit of a probe towards the Ivy position. Kenny S not wasting any time in making his way towards T spawn, but Astralis have fully committed towards outer. Smoke's a decent vision remove, but can they get the bomb down quickly?
Dank flank, 2 members going to be coming from main. Hunter boosted up, won't be able to find too much, but actually back of Dupree will force him to relocate. They want to keep attention on connector. Amanek towards Ivy. He wants to draw a fire there as well, because here comes the flank. Kenny gets the first on Magisk. However, well, to dig his heels in. Caught by Jax. There's 2 where this came from. They weren't ready for it. The damage inflicted to Kenny cost them nothing. And speaking of damage, yes, 3 members are bleeding internally, but what can you do? They're already on the bomb. He can't contest. A great shot, a second as well, but the round will go G2's way nonetheless. And a fantastic recovery with that bomb plant from Astralis.
Yeah, it was looking very good for Astralis there. The smokes are good. They found decent positional control towards the outside area, but the flank coming from G2 is absolutely everything. You can see they had a mindset there. They wanted to backstab, go towards inside, required all main entrance, and get behind the Astralis players as they committed towards that ace side. Here comes Kenny S. They had no idea of his position, manages to find a clinical headshot in the back there and contain the players towards Pop Dog. Definitely got a little bit dicey there, the low HP. Zipex had a chance to win that one, but he had 4 players to find. Wasn't really ever going to happen for him, but maybe this round will. They got a force buy in the second by virtue of the bomb being planted in the pistol, 2 Kriegs, 3 Deagles, and a plethora of utility to work with here.
The initial game plan is a 2-pronged advance. They'll have a partnership of Glaive and Device, 1 rifle and 1 unarmored Deagle. You see the CTs gaining some early info though. They'll take control of Con and some bullets exchanged, and a 50 caliber one nestled in the shoulder pad of Nexa. He only brought down to 78.
Smile rush.
Give us a wink.
There we go. Oh, so cute.
Didn't even give us a wink.
He's has a smile. He broke. He broke character.
Yeah. It's a very, very scattered spread from Astralis. It's going to come down to some individual duels, some heroics. Device and Dupree, the 2 rifles on either extremity. 1B, 1A. Crossfire that G2 have on the inner site does not look like it's going to be too vulnerable to the Krieg. Instead, it's outside where the first blood is drawn. Nice catch. Device onto Kenny. Now Dupree fires off the second Krieg. They're starting to piece together this puzzle. The bomb not far away from an inner hit if they wanted it, and the flanks coming in as well from backtracks. These CTs are going to be hot under the collar, and as Hunter wants to shift, the tide's in his favor. That would be the bomb, but Magisk, a huge frag. He survives, and now he can get that bomb in. Dupree perfectly set up to catch the rotation.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a chance now for G2. The setup looks too strong here. Astralis getting towards the end of Ivy, managing to get into backtracks there in Glaive. CT spawn just as they were committing towards inner as well. They found that opening pick, and at that point, the pressure was just too much for G2, trying to push up the lower ramp, scrambling almost to try and pull a kill back in their favor. Magisk ready and waiting with the Desert Eagle, keeping 4 players alive here. It's Jax, and will have to hold on to a FAMAS. Really not ideal scenes. They'll probably have to force by themselves into the next round. You'll see scouts, shotguns, SMGs being brought out as we go 1-1. A bounce back from Astralis here. The Kriegs deadly on Train. Couple of kills found by Dupree.
And everyone's going to be getting a freebie coming into the next. Not only the 2 rifles they started with, but an M4 and a FAMAS scavenged away as well, which means that they won't have to invest anything as they start to nurture it. It'll bank into our 3rd map of this series. A great stat that came up and during the pre-match, I believe, it was just outlining that Astralis have not fallen into the lower bracket of any premium event this year.
Wow, that's quite the accolade to pick up. That means you haven't really had a disappointing event at all. Well, then it's going to be Dupree with that Krieg. Doing most heavy lifting, like we said. Scouts expected Amanek and Kenny S to wield those going into round number 3 here. A very strong weapon on Train, not necessarily going for the headshots here, just trying to do as much damage as you can to enable the CZs to get up close and personal and finish things off.
Yeah, they come into the clutches of Jax and a good dink, but Magisk does continue his chars. Hunter lets loose half of his clip, and it's enough for Dupree to hunt him down. Kenny the same, though. Jumping to release a nade, and he's met with more than he bargained for. Kenny, however, is in trouble. Just a scout to try and hold this outside yard, and from behind, Glaive will strike. Amanek gets cut down to size. Kenny likely for a similar fate here. Yep, Glaive confirms it. good damage inflicted, and unfortunately Nexa doesn't have the weapon ideally he'd be hoping for in order to cut them up.
Yeah, they get 3 scout tags, 4 if you include the kill from Kenny as well, but it's not quite enough.
Scout, that's something. He can maybe stop this cross, and unfortunately that was the one player who could have taken a scout bullet.
That's really unfortunate. Saving the scout, mainly the armor, probably the best option at this point. You obviously got to look some exit frags if possible, but Astralis, very efficient, clinical approach there, managing to fend off the force buy. It's going to have to be eco for the CTs going forward. Next up, just looking for any kills here available to him from the backtrack. Still got 100 HP. He knows they've all been tagged up, but can he find anyone at all? Gives up his position, and I doubt they'll be challenging now. It's not like they really need that scout. It's not going to be a massive factor going forward, and they've got rifles pretty much across the board here. So everyone leaving the site, happy with their performance in that round. Only gave up 1 kill. They took a lot of damage, as you mentioned, but they all make their way towards T-spawn, so they're absolutely fine in that respect. Nexa will save the CZ, and Scouts can drop the CZ at least for the next round and give that to someone else. It's not much, but it's better than a USP. But then CZ, maybe that could work out. You might see some Zeus's this round. It's one of the few maps you'll see that consistently brought out.
$100, I mean, that's...
It's cheap but cheerful.
It's cheap and cheerful, it is. See how Glaive confirmed the round. This was his flank onto Amanek. He just... Enough gaps were created and manufactured that he did have Amanek completely caught unawares in a second. All too easy for him. dupreeh makes a conscious choice to pull the MAC-10 in, looking to farm some cash for the grand scheme. Knows there's not going to be any Kevlar on the majority here. Pop dog contact. Glaive will be a couple of shots, and dupreeh knows Amanek's close, and there you go. $600 in his pocket, no issues, no sweat. And Device will pincer in nicely, perfectly timed arrival. Nexa, however, he was the one with the scout. He'd have to find a second here, and he can't quite manage it. Another one going the way of Astralis, and the clean nature of it as well is only going to bode all the more terribly for G2.
Just Jax with the CZ, no armor. Drop that from the previous round, of course, but at this stage, I don't think he'll be doing much more than holding on for an exit frag. If he finds a low HP player, ideally Glaive, he'd have a chance, but holding towards Connector. Options are very limited indeed. Looks to be another clean one from Astralis here. Bond to be planted outside, no problem there. This was the eco from G2. They got 1 kill with that scale, but that's about it. Money's starting to build up quite nicely on the T side of train here for Astralis. Last time Astralis lost train was at the Berlin Major against NRG. Yeah, it feels like it's been a minute. They seem very consistent on this map at this stage. NRG now, of course, EG.
Evil geniuses. I think that second word often attributed to that of Astralis, certainly their leader, Glaive. You saw them wrapping things up there. Got himself 4 kills to start things off, and we're into our third map of our upper bracket Group B semi-final. Flashes rain in, enables dupreeh to go for a walk up through Olof, and will be able to tuck himself in to let the rest of the pieces start to maneuver. Actually, they're going to boost Kenny straight into the line of sight, and it's 1 to the knee. Kenny, he does one better into the chest of Device, and now 2 frags. Amanek's found 1 towards Ivy as well. Pressure mounting for the remaining, but Magiski's managed to alleviate some of it. Catching Jax with the AWP, can find a rifle if there is one nearby, but for now he's just going to have to work with that. He's got the bomb on his back as well, so much pressure on Magisk. He didn't quite get the info on the Ivy push.
All comes a bit of a standstill for now. Making his way down lower ramp though, that's going to be Zipex. I don't think he was spotted. We'll see whether he can sneak through here. Hunter making steps, and he's got players all around him here. Glaive has snuck through towards upper, and at this point things get a little bit difficult for the CTs, but they handle it very well indeed. His Nexa with 2 kills, leaving us in a 4 versus 1. Magus with the AWP, unknown to be an AWP, has got 1 frag with the round so far, and at this point it's going to be 3 to 2. A convincing one there from G2, just what they needed on their CT campaign. Third and final map here of the upper bracket semi-final of Group B. G2 managed to look very good on Dust 2 and pretty much had Inferno in the palm of their hand, Alex. It was 15 to 12. Couldn't hold on to it, though. And if Astralis, if they get you to overtime, they pretty much got you beat.
Call a timeout, string the rounds together, and a comfortable overtime victory for Astralis, of course. 3-0 on that CT half. See if overtime's a conversation to be had on train as well. Staying nice and close for now. Molotov from Zipex will force the smoke in response, and actually that could be the perfect timing. They may not respect it though, they don't. Charging in, catching a bullet, Jax suppressing Magic's down to 25. But flooding into the outside site now. It's going to come down to Jules, and Dupree's won the first. Damage inflicted, but Magisk, his damage is lethal. Another Frenchman dropped. G2, they're dropping like flies as Zipex. Straight from Pop Dog, only real consolation is Hunter, and he's the last man standing, looking to go 1 versus 4. We can't even find a second. With still 60 seconds on the clock. That was a quick one.
That was a very quick one. Nice approach there from the main entrance and Pop Dog position. You mentioned that the smoke was being deployed by G2, designed to hold Astralis at bay, but they managed to push out before it even blooms, cause absolute chaos there with the CTs, the grenades in their hands, trade out effectively, took significant damage, but nailed the majority of their shots, and now forcing G2 into a pretty much full eco here. Deagles, P250s, a USP for Jax. Hunter gets himself a CZ and armor, considering he's got a little bit of money than his teammates, but overall should be 5-2 here, no problem. You can see them just making their way out towards main entrance. The fact they've received no grenades there, no utility at all, pretty much confirms things that it is going to be an eco, but didn't anticipate that one. Kenny S steals away the first kill. They've only got 1 Deagle into this round. He quickly swaps it over to his teammate. Gets a Molotov as well, so there is a chance here, and even more so now.
With the swapped over Deagle, no less. Jax has made it work. Kenny, however, does lose the Krieg. It's not going to be retrievable because now that line is being held. Jax cowering. But from behind, there is a possibility. Nexa can apply just a little bit of pressure with that P250. Timing will be everything, though. They have the man advantage. But for how long? Magisk, he sees Jax's shadow. He knows he's just around the corner. Does have the information, and it will eventually, combined with Zipex, take him down. Pulls a molly out of them, though. Device, aware of a potential flank and firing off some shots. He's actually willing to go close quarters. He may not be able to handle both here, and they could overwhelm him instead, though. Handles it. 3 HP, 1 bullet will do. It's down to Nexa to go 1 versus 2. Does have the AWP, but ooh, his head was in the cloud. Couldn't quite get the vision he desired, and Zipex confirms it.
That was a 5-on-3 ultimately, and Astralis pulled it right back. Zipex with 4 kills to his name. The Desert Eagle causing a bit of trouble there for them, but overall well held, and all that's important really is they get that round on top of the board. Even after the reinvestment, they'll have players hovering around $4,500. So round number 8, still looking very good for Astralis here. Might see a double AWP setup come in from G2. We'll see if they've got the funds to do so. Kenny S has purchased his AWP. It's their first tactical timeout. They could afford a secondary AWP. Now, Glass Cannon is pretty viable on train considering the range. But I don't think we'll see it just yet. No, we won't. It's going to be the M4s and Kenny, who needs to step up. And he's looked decent so far.
He really has. Yeah, he had his moments on Inferno, that's for sure. He was flying in the first half on the defense. T-side AWPing on Inferno, of course, notoriously difficult, but did the same with the rifle. Definitely fine form, as G2 have been whispering about replicating a lot of the professionalism outside of the game, by which Astralis were the front runners in. Something Fnatic, G2, it's been a big conversation for them, and see those frags from Jax. That's a lovely connection, but couldn't quite profit from it. A light tickling from the initial utility. Molotov will lock them into this as they look to exit and fully flash. Jax still finds one. Won't be able to escape though as they travel in pairs, and from behind, Magisk, he does more than trade.
Glaive has actually got out of Ivy as well. Undetected once again. Yeah, he's at the backtracks. This is a nightmare. Kenny S is exposed right now. Next time might not even arrive at the scene of the crime on time, but that is ridiculous.
He must have a friction burn.
I don't know how he's done that.
That is so fast, like unbelievably fast. Glaive didn't even necessarily do anything wrong. It wasn't the headshot, sure. Was it? 3 bullets was all he needed. Only 2 connect before Kenny reacts. Is that enough for the round though? Zipex going for a walk. Nex is playing a real nice passive line here, but he could get caught off with the timing.
Yeah, if he jumps up, he's in trouble, and Zipex all too happy to oblige. That confirms that inside is open at this stage. Hunter, though, still with the bomb. He'll be patrolling towards main entrance here, and a Device looking for any sort of reactive play. Zipex back towards outside, trying to sniff out the opposition here, and he has to be the linchpin of the operation. They've got 30 seconds remaining. Trying to hold onto the bomb the best they can, but Zipex, he's hot on their heels.
You could see Hunter here. If he goes around this corner, he'll have the back of Hunter exposed to him, and he can just exploit it. Kenny, however, hit another shot. Kenny needs to win this round single-handedly. He knows where he's going. Zipex spots him. 18 seconds, though. Time is on Kenny's side, and survival should have been out of the question. He gets it anyway. Kenny, yes, 4 frags, 3, excuse me. 2 from his partners in crime, Jackson, Hunter, but it was all him. The fact that he's still alive is ridiculous. Do we have Kenny's POV on that? I'm not even sure the replay operator was expecting Kenny to survive.
There was such a guaranteed kill for Glaive. He could have taken all the time in the world, didn't use the scope, went for the taps, and just didn't quite connect. It's a 180 from Kenny. It looks like 90 degrees to be fair, but still, this was crazy. The fact he hit the headshot as well, that's a bit of vintage Kenny S for you. And the fact that Zipex fumbled one bit of movement there towards the main entrance, he had that kill locked in as well. One bullet would have made it, couldn't quite get the vision, and at that point, Kenny S holds the line, takes him down.
So yeah, not only the bullet fumble once he's taking the shots towards connector, but he also pulled a nade out when he got the Kenny crossing. That's two tiny errors of judgment that cost him. Kenny willing to exploit though, and that's a huge shift now. Will the momentum build for G2? It's a step in the right direction, but my goodness, this is still Astralis' T side, and only a small sacrifice made. We'll see a scout in play, and it looks like Glaive stuck with a sidearm.
Desert Eagle for him. He has focused on the grenades though, got the smoke, the Molotov, the flashbang. Flash is deployed already towards outside the bait utility here. Kenny S aggressive at that lower ramp. No shots connecting, but it does give away his position, so they might be forced to go outside here quickly before he can rotate. Kenny will remain at the lower ramp for now. Jack's up towards heaven with the organ hands. Starting to drop down. 3 players, now 4 outside. Kenny S has full control of the upper ramp.
And you see Hunter does catch the first. Amanek with a chance here, but the weapon didn't quite connect. Instead, it's Glaive's pistol. Now Nexa from higher ground, even with the SMGs making that work. But Astralis, the frags are favoring them. Nexa long range with the MP9. He's not done. And he's managed to stay healthy throughout all of this. Another shot. And the round goes the way of G2, stringing together 2 on the defensive train. Let's not forget, this is train we're talking about. Yes, Astralis got off to their flying start, but really, the truth of the matter is that G2, they need to be ending this half with a lead.
Yeah, absolutely true. I feel like the beginning of this first half, it didn't look good at all. They were 5-2 down, but now managing to scrape some rounds together, actually breaking the economy of Astralis as well. They're looking like they're in much better shape. It's the CT side that have been letting them down as of late, but starting to come together now, that's for sure. Need to have this one as a clean round, though, Alex. They need, like, 4 players to survive this at least, considering what they're up against. 3 Glocks, a CZ and a Deagle, only 1 player of armor, and there's no grenades to speak of. Guaranteed first frag, maybe even a second here as well, but Magisk, of course, absolutely rails Hunter. There's no weapon to pick up just yet, but they have started to get under their skin somewhat.
Dupree bouncing around with a knife and a Glock. But that one Desert Eagle from Magisk, it worked, and Jax has had no issues handling the rest of this task. Another body dropped. This will be 3 in a row for G2 as they're going to start to find that equalizer. Neat and tidy from Jax. Does catch a bullet to the dome, but he's down to 9. Teammates should be able to do the rest, not if Dupree finds the body shot, though. And so now with 2 down, considering the amount Astralis have invested into this, they are not going to have any complaints. Yeah,
it was just 1 Deagle, 1 CZ, remember. Now they've got themselves 2 kills and maybe a couple more to find. 50 seconds remaining. Bomb currently at the T steps. We have 1 player making his way towards Ivy. That's going to be Dupree. Amanek with the responsibility of that position. Should be able to find the kill, no problem. But as I say that, it's a remarkable clothesline there from Dupree. Crosshair poised towards the end of the Ivy position. Now it's a 2-on-2. With the open play as well, that actually increases their chances here. HP and armor no longer a factor.
It's really going to come down to Nexa from backtracks. Kenny using his AWP so quick on the trigger device. Might be able to get this bomb down. That's something. Some extra cash into the Astralis bank accounts if this round does not go his way, which it certainly doesn't look like it will. And Nexa finally keeping things under control. I thought Kenny hit something ridiculous there.
Well, he did. That first shot he got was pretty nuts, to be honest with you. The quick scope just looked so precise as well. No doubt in his mind he's going to nail that shot as we tie things up at 5-5. But that was pretty much the full eco from Astralis there. So the fact it comes down to a 2-on-1, the bomb planted as well, they'll be very happy with that. Here's the shot from Dupree. It looked like it was done for. 30 HP. Player swinging on him as well. 1 bullet, that's all that's required. This is the quick scope coming through. This was sick.
Jesus Christ, Kenny.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's on his way alongside JW. We're getting some of the AWPing legends back to legendary form.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, we went the full distance on the previous 2 maps. 16-13 on Dust 2. Overtime on the 2nd of Inferno. And here we are. Train as the great decider. Looking good for Astralis with 5 rounds already on their T side, but very early days here. Trying to focus towards a pop dog right now. And as we look at G2, they're actually claiming map territory. Pushing in towards T-spawn, lovely stuff. May just didn't see it coming. He was actually lining up a flashbang for his teammates there. They're going to have to be pushed towards inside. Glaive will pull one back. Next repositioning.
He has to get this clean and tidy in just in the nick of time. He does manage to keep things relatively level. However, this round looks like it's about to get a whole lot more difficult. Kenny, an AWP for the retake. Amanek and AK. Kit's present on both. But you know how Astralis will play these post plants. They will make you work so hard. Close that gap. Favorable fights the whole way. At the moment, relatively stationary. Timing's perfect as Zipex ensures this round goes the way of the Danes. A whole lot of information gathered from the Jiggle Peak, and now Kenny just looking to keep hold of his weapon.
Yeah, doesn't really stand a chance here, I'm afraid. He'll get a nice shot towards Device, but at this point it's just about self-preservation. Can he take the AWP into the next round? Money is starting to run very thin indeed. Oh, it looks like he might be in trouble here, but there is enough time to get away. But players all around him. Glaive waiting towards the connector. Good communication overall. 6-5. Astralis will edge the lead once more. Lost bonus is not there at all. It's at the very bottom of the barrel. Hunter with $1,400 and nothing purchased here. So once again, it's either a full investment or a full eco. I'd say we'll be leaning towards the latter at this point.
We saw what Astralis could do. With, I think, what was it? You said a CZ and a Deagle.
Yeah.
$1,200 invested, and, well, they managed to get a bomb plant and a 2v2 out of that.
Well, it's one Deagle so far in the hands of Jax. No one else can really justify much. They can maybe go 8 cheese, like 4 of those maybe. To
a gimmick kill and a rifle, yeah.
That's about as exciting as he gets, or stack inside maybe. 1 flashbang, maybe get a push in towards main entrance, or push Ivy. As a group, we'll see which way they're inclined. The flashes suggest they're going to try and do something relatively quickly at the start of the round. I would say flashing main entrance, getting stuck in would be the best protocol, but we'll see. Round 12 does not look good for G2 whatsoever. So 5 towards outside. So yeah, so it'll either be main entrance or Ivy. It's Jax with the flashbang. Throws one towards main entrance here, and they'll be pushing towards Ivy as well.
Aggressive AWPing from Device. There is, however, one kink in this, and that's if Amanek catches Glaive fast. Going to be the case, and so this round should be an open and shut case. Jax does manage to keep things a little awkward. The recovered rifle, however, does not have any chance to do damage. Dupree out on towards E-Box, and he's demanding respect. Will be hunted down eventually. That's actually going to be 2 taps from Hunter's USP to at least make this relatively clean, and the silenced USP from Nexa does good damage, brings Glaive down to a respectable and manageable amount. 3 smokes from Astralis. They take no chances here, even though they know up against the essential eco. They want to ensure that bomb can go down uncontested. Magisk eventually catching Nexa off, and they know where he was. Hunter, of course, tapping into Device, took the AWP away from him, but won't be able to pick up the weapon itself. Instead, he's just having a walk. Maybe there's an AK there. That could be it. And an extra frag. Maybe another extra frag! Hunter on for the double kill, looking for Dupree. Will hold the line, but good damage inflicted with nothing invested. This is becoming somewhat of a trend here, Henry.
Yeah, that was actually pretty impressive there from Hunter. Made things very uncomfortable indeed towards the end there. But still, Astralis win the round. They're 7-5 out from their T-side of train here in the third and final map. Money is okay for G2. They've got about $4,500 per player. That means no AWP. So look out for something a bit more active at the start of these rounds. We talked about this before in Inferno when you have our SMGs or a lack of a sniper rifle trying to get map territory at the start, like main entrance or pushing towards Ivy, can be very viable just to shut down any sort of full execution or default. You're trying to cause a bit of a ruckus at the start of the round with this sort of buy, especially with no scopes and even the form of an AUG.
So force it to be chaos and mid-roundy as opposed to an Astralis.
There'll be some sort of objective instead of just sitting right back at this point. I don't think we'll see a classic crossfire setup with just rifles, especially with FAMAS there as well. I'd like to see them maybe probe towards Ivy and see if they can catch Device out, but it's a very common move, and Astralis will know the money's low at this stage as well. And the fact we've had a bit of a timeout here, they might just be changing the pace up. They're trying to go full-on inside play at this point, just change things up completely.
Interestingly enough, Jax actually has the highest ADR in the server right now. It really is a great series from him. Started it oh so strong on our first map, which is how, of course, we found ourselves here in the third, G2.
So you can see 2 players are lower round for the CTs. This is their objective now. Just trying to get a quick pick on this side of the map if possible. Player towards upper as well. They're going to try and get 1 and fall back, hopefully cleanly. They know they're up against it here. They have to fight for a kill.
before they can piece it together. They were going to do it quiet, though. That's the benefit. If they don't throw utility, they may have backs turned. But this is Astralis we're talking about, and Zipex, he will keep an eye on it. Timing everything, he goes around, and that's first blood. That's what they wanted. Will they fall back successfully? Even more than that, Kenny, he lingers and is rewarded for it. One back in response from dupreeh out towards Olof. Jack's trying to fake the rotate, see if he can keep Magisk's gaze elsewhere. The molly, however, will keep him at bay, enables them to focus their attention elsewhere, even getting himself into heaven. I'm not sure Hunter's going to be ready to check for this.
Yeah, it's a real strong position here from dupreeh, but he knows he has to be active here, protect his teammates at all costs. It's going to be a 2, make it 3-on-1 now. dupreeh will have to pull out all the stops as he looks towards Connect. Another kill available to him there, but that's a perfect round from G2. We said they had to be active. There had to be some sort of objective in mind to get that first frag and funnel them into a certain position where they don't want to be. Inside was the place of choice, and he could see as Astralis really focusing towards Popdog at the very start there. They checked inside at the very beginning of the round, fell back, pulled their grenades, and just didn't anticipate 3 players to be encroaching on their position. And why would you, as G2 bring out a perfect little push there, managing to get the bomb defused, no problem at all, and pull another round back. 7-6, and Money is now in a difficult position for Astralis. They have to take an eco hit. It's not even really partial buy territory. A couple of them get deagle. Zipex get armor, I suppose, but the rest of them we have to just sit back and wait. 3 Glocks being brought out in the next round. Get one more cheeky deagle in there. 1 smoke, I'd imagine, down lower ramp. Try and get the bomb planted. Trade out 1 kill against Nexa. See what can be done, but he's going to play this well. This is just the pixel peak. Listen up the footsteps. Drop the incendiary. They might just run through this, though, and he didn't anticipate that.
Oh, but his teammate did. Look at the damage. Red bars for all of them. And there's no way they can get that bomb down now. It's confirmed, it's neat, it's tidy, and it's quick. 7-7 the score. We said G2 had to end this half with a lead. Well, the only option now will be the most minor of leads possible in the half. 7-7, final round of our third map's first half. Malak, he does have his mouth to the microphone. This will be the final G2 timeout called. They will have access to none for the next half.
Absolutely true. If their teammates call, their opposition calls one, they can still take advantage of that. But the fact you've used all of them on your CT side train, that is going to be a little bit difficult in the second half. But regardless, they need this round. It's a big one. I don't blame them for using it here. Kenny S has the AWP. They have an AK-47 in the hands of Jax. No orbs available for Astralis, but they've got 4 scopes of their own, with the Kriegs being brought out, of course. All right, then. Final round. Kenny S trying to get position towards inside, by the sounds of things there, Alex. It's a very strong position for Orbis to get towards, but you have to get there first. It's a default Molotov, but the good news is no mollies available on the T side. So if Kenny can get control of upper, they can't actually do anything about that. He can just take pop shots. And
the flash completely obscured the cross from Amanek. He can tuck into Popdog. Now the molly's going to force Device into a rather sticky situation, and here they come. More than 1 frag, 2 from Kenny. A third not going to be quite available. As I get ahead of myself. Amanek, however, so does he. He gets ahead of the pack. He gets a nice frag. Magisk forced to try and recover, but the damage inflicted, and there's still wallbangs coming in. They know exactly where he is, and what a wonderful sequence of events for G2. Leaps into the jaws of Jax to confirm it. It's an 8-7 half. They get their lead we requested, but by the narrowest of margins.
Yeah, it's not the most compelling half from G2, but it's better than getting battered and bruised. They've made it competitive at least. I'm sure they've got something to say about the second half. Let's see how it transpires after this break.
Left in my head, my mind's not mine and it won't forget. But you bring me back from my darkness black, 'cause the soul in me and the heart I have for you. It bleeds for you, it beats again. Oh, you bring me to life. Oh, you bring me to life.
But she bring me back, not a heart attack could take away all the love I had for you. It bleeds for you, it beats again. Oh, you bring me to life. 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 Oh, you bring me to life.
It's your Group B upper bracket round 2 for the ESL Pro League Finals, Season 10. It is a long road to lifting the trophy. Astralis, of course, defending champions of the Odense event, and the only Danish team left after Heroic falling early, and the same could be said for North. To ATK, who are the team waiting for the loser of this one. Will Astralis be thrust into the lower bracket for the very first time at a Premier event this year, or will we see G2 swallow their pride after a Dust 2 victory?
Well, we've got an inside push here, and Device given the task of fending it off. He does a little bit of damage there, but the P2000 unable to find the head. He'll have to drop down towards lower. He's been overwhelmed. The swarm of terrorists now making their way towards inner. It will be the advantage for Astralis for now, though. Zipex steals 2 kills away as the bomb will be planted. They will posture and set up Glaive, of course, for a flank towards the Pop Dog position. Bomb down, advantage to Astralis. So much damage inflicted.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult to hold on to. They've got the bomb. That's half of the hard work, but the strain to come. I like this from Hunter, though. He just managed to get under their skin just a little bit. Some damage, but that's just not enough. Jax perhaps finds the first, but what can you really do about this one? The second, oh, a smoke as well. Salt in the wound. It's a 10-second defuse. Admittedly, it's Zipex, the low HP player, but he's all too well covered. And the brave defuse concludes. We will see 8-8. Astralis with a pistol victory. That's 2 now, I believe.
Yeah, fast inside play, but not all is lost. The fact they got a couple of kills there and the bomb planted, it does enable them to buy into this round if they wish. And we're going to have Hunter confirming things there. The Galils, big storyline around them recently, a lot cheaper these days and a lot more viable, as we'll see 4 of those. No Kriegs purchase whatsoever. They want to have firepower across the board, not just 2 players and then a couple of Deagles to go with it. So 5 Galils and armor to boots. They've got 1 smoke, however, Alex. That's the main caveat.
I do want to correct myself as well. It was G2 who won the pistol, but then they lost the following 2.
Exactly, they lost 3 after that.
Yeah, just to correct myself. But the Galils are fully in force. I'd like to see how those $1,800 rifles frag out. Zipex solo responsibility for inside, but they're coming out and catches 1, no 2, Dupree. Before he's silenced, he's already inflicted huge damage. Amanek could be very much next on the chopping board. He's already been caught by Ivy before he's even fired a shot. Still yet to connect, really. Now Device and Magis start getting chipped away at, but G2 numbers, they're faltering. And they're being ripped away. Finally, something connecting for Kenny, but it's all too late. And Astralis will string together the opening 2 here in the first, or rather second half of our third map.
9-8. Astralis fending off the Galils, no problem there whatsoever. And it's going to have to be the eco now. G2 just didn't have the utility to really stand much of a chance. Dupree makes light work of them, the M4. Nice double kill to kick things off. Just by the skin of his teeth there towards the end, but now just against the Deagles and PT50s. I'm going to get some Kevlar. Not sure that's going to lead into much, but they'll send 3 players towards Ivy with the bomb, Mages to defend that position. Jack's already making his way out towards Olaf. And at this point, just looking to get that bomb planted if possible. Fast pace towards the Ivy position, but Mages in a prime spot to do a lot of damage there. He gets 1.5 kills, but the Deagles now starting to do some serious work, but can't find much more than that. Still the 2 versus 2, however.
Yeah, Device was standing his ground in the flame. He timed it perfectly, though, just 1 tick. And unfortunately for Amanek, though, he has been handed something relatively workable. This one ends right here, right now, or not. Forcing me to gobble my words. Not only that, but he does manage to get away with the bomb and his life. He had 12 HP for that duel, 1 single bullet, but enough of the element of surprise to profit. Now things get interesting. It's time for a game of 6-dimensional backgammon. Strap yourselves in. Zipex and Amanek But now, Zipex is going to use this as a whole lot of information. If he clears these, he'll have the knowledge that it's either main, Ivy,
or backtracks.
And then suddenly you realize that actually he knows very little, but he's piecing it together. And that pause from Amanek was entirely intentional, right?
Oh, absolutely. Just going to lose track of him completely. Zipex now just has to hold a bomb site and hope for the best. That's all he can really do with this one. There'll be no Qs, but he does know that Amanek will be at least tagged up. The only player with Kevlar walks into the situation with 12 HP, 25 seconds, and backtracks where he decides to go. Has been spotted, however, and at this point can't even make it towards inside. The leap of faith comes through, and he does not make it.
Third time.
There was a chance there, but unfortunately for him, no bomb will be going down, but a decent eco, to say the very least. It comes down to a 1 versus 1. Expensive scenes here for Astralis. The reinvestment is going to hurt them severely, but they found double digits first. They have enough to bring out the AWP. Glaive will have to purchase in this round and pretty much take him down to 0 after the grenades are purchased. So a huge round here. G2, sure, haven't found initial success in terms of round victories, but they have kept Astralis on a leash.
Let's see if they can let Kenny back off the leash. 18 frags, 15 for Jax. Consistent frag and presence. Hunter, he's been having his fair share of woes here on the T side. No issues on the CT, that's for sure. Oh, we will get an opportunity onto Dupree, but now things are going to go awry. Does reveal not only his location, he'll be able to communicate where Dupree is, and a bit of a Molotov damage will damage him, but look at Magic's position already, creeping and crawling his way down Ivy. Every second this passes, the CTs will get closer and closer to rotating to the inner site, but let's not forget about Hunter, because he is really on a mission here.
Yeah, he's behind enemy lines. The device has got no idea. That's a guaranteed kill, but does he want to take it cleanly? Yes, he does. Nexa finds one towards inner as well. This is all starting to fall apart for Astralis. 5 versus 3. Hunter biding his time, getting deep behind the defense of Astralis there. At this point, Hunter continuing to cause damage. That's from Ivy. Another player rotating in. And what seemed like a brilliant read from Astralis. They had everything. And the lock and key, Majors pushing towards T-spawn. It all starts crumbling down very quickly.
And now, just by watching that round, I'm reminded of previous trains I've seen from G2. Hunter did this an awful lot.
Yes.
If he's allowed to get out without any initial damage from utility, he can float between smokes and trains and get behind even the most regimented of CT sides. This time, of course, Astralis victims to it. And this will be an important night to keep things close and competitive. That was the observations of Henry, of course, saying that enough was done in the first half that we have got a real game on our hands. Astralis' CT side, of course, favored. But for how much longer?
That's the question. Very convincing round there from Hunter. He's known for those sort of plays as well. If you watch him on Mirage, for example, he's always up in the window. He's always boosted up and causing chaos there. Always very good at the timings and exploiting opportunities he finds. Manages to get a very valuable kill on Device there. And if you find Device in the backtracks of an orb and you've already walked outside, you can confirm it's pretty much clear at that point. Manages to hold towards Ivy, wait for the rotating players. Got a second. Teammates already found Majors and T-spawn as well, and round was done. It was always gifted to them at that stage, as we'll find ourselves going 10-9. G2 certainly in a commanding position now. We said the money was low going into the previous round, so it is going to be a force fight from Astralis here with Scouts and Deagles, MP9s coming through. Hunter, there's the replay of the 2 kills he got that pretty much secured the success of the previous round. So 1 M4, the Scouts, pretty desperate scenes here from Astralis. This round doesn't look good for them.
The only possible beacon for them here in round 20 would be an inner hit into Zipex's M4, the only rifle Astralis are presenting into this round. And for now, Patience being presented. It was held by Nexa. No real ground gained at the moment by G2. They don't want to get caught off by anything. Molly has failed.
Yeah, you can see May just like, well, I'm given an opportunity to get in there. I'll stay in position. No one dropping down just yet. 2 players towards the brown holes on the CD side. As Glaive and Zipex can find themselves with a couple of kills here if they time it well. Poach coming in now. Maybe small on fire off some bullets just to keep them entertained. Glaive good for 1. No armor. Aim punch was a massive factor there, but Magius does manage to get
both
1.
nades, Henry. 2 more damage and he's gone. Instead, he gets a kill and a rifle. Now, Oh no, he could even do more damage, even if it's just information. With 30 seconds left, tuck himself in a corner.
Just one kill here would be amazing.
It would be ridiculous, and it's not looking unlikely. How do they handle this? They're going to give the rifle to Kenny to clear, and it still doesn't stop Magis getting the frag. Now Jax, admittedly, has got the AWP with his low HP, but with 17 seconds, I'm not sure if they can do anything with this. The smoke will go down. The contest will come in from Zipex. He's the man set to... Oh, a missed shot from Device. They can get across, but from behind they strike. And Astralis with a real higgledy-biggledy buy. It was one rifle, scout, SMGs, pistols. They managed to overcome a fully bought G2.
The Desert Eagle of Mages there, holding strong towards the pop dog. It all started with the failed Molotov, allowing him to get in position there. His teammates pushing inside. Glaive, he only gets one, but it's caused enough distraction for Mages to actually find some wiggle room there, find the AK-47, and fall back towards the lower round position. Kenny S challenging first, and we said if Mages got one kill there, that should be the round, which it certainly was. As they force buy back themselves, it's pretty decent overall. They have got AKs and an AWP, but a Deagle for Nexa. Jax this time the one to try and get out of main entrance successfully.
He is completely on his own. He is so far above and ahead of the pack. Glaive's going to go hunting for him, though. He's going to try and get that timing right. Towards Green Train, it's been smoked off. They've denied that information, but oh, they've seemed to have worked it out perfectly. And despite the nade, despite the bullets, Jax thrives. He gets the kill. Glaive gone. Amanek as well into the feed in favor of G2. A chance for Device, but it's not going to work out. And so now Magisk and Zipex. 2 versus 2. Health certainly favoring the Danes again. Bomb on the back of Amanek. He will have to go completely absent. So has Jax. He's been neutralized. Now what's the plan here? He's got a good read. He knows where at least one of them is. This other, Magisk, was last seen Ivy. Zepek's going to be given the responsibility of the flank, perhaps even as time continues to pass, he might advance. Timing looks so favorable at the moment. Amanek could likely just be presenting his bottom. Yeah, Magisk, no issues with that one. Collects the 12th for Astralis.
Yes.
These rounds are so close, Henry. G2, they're having enough to destabilize the defense. You're seeing Astralis have to fumble and piece things back together again, but unfortunately, this rigid defense still thrives.
And unless you got the bomb down there, it doesn't have a massive knock-on effect. At best, you can partially buy into this round. Nexa with some nice shots here with the AWP, but Mages coming in once again with that flank, recovering the AWP. He'll close things out. He'll hold on to the weapon as well as we head into round number 22. Nothing really purchased here. CZs and Deagles. A couple of sets of Kevlar for Nexa and Hunter, but no grenades whatsoever. They are very good with the pistols. G2, but is this going to be enough? On a map like Train, I'm not so sure.
Bounces off his shoulders. Hunter down to 58 from the nade of Glaive. Four members of Astralis all playing that outside site, and that's a luxury they can take because of Device's positioning, an aggressive hold in halls.
And boost over the smoke, but looks at things here. Not going to do too much with them. Not even the best boost there, but maybe a second go at it. Yeah, that looks to be likely. Got 2 players towards the end of Ivy as well. 4 CTs ready and waiting there, but no one watching Ivy for now, so they have managed to sneak out somewhat. Amanek spotted in the end. It's going to be Dupree with 3 strong kills there, make it 4. A very solid sequence from himself. Didn't lose a single point of health. It's to go 13-9 now. Getting closer and closer to winning the map. 2-1 would be the victory here on the CT side. It's looking likely. G2 have a lot of work to do to get back into this one now. It's been a decent series from them for sure. First map was theirs. Dust2 picked that one up. Second, they had 3 map points in the bag. Went to overtime. Astralis crushed them 4-0 there. And at this stage, Astralis back on their feet financially. As we get into round number 23. Fast approach once again from Hunter. Enabled. See whether he can actually find the first pick once again. Manages to make his way all the way to hell, and no one knows.
He does it again and again. Somehow threads the needle of the Astralis defense, and they accelerate, especially now. Jax catching Magisk on Ivy. Glaive's looking to fill that void, perhaps an element of surprise through the smoke. He does manage to tuck himself into that corner. They're boosting. He can hear it. There's no way Kenny checks this. If he continues just a little bit, his toes will be poking up the top. They've got one! Traded out, though. And now G2 maintain that advantage.
Yeah, had he looked a second sooner above himself, could have had 2 frags there. Device will try and bring things back in their favor. He's left on 11 points of help in a 3 versus 1. No chance for him at all really here. It's Hunter once again making his way down towards the bomb site through the main entrance and undetected, of course. They had no idea. And it's a problem that they need to rectify right now. They need to start dropping the incendiaries towards that off position. Stop him getting out so quickly. He's like, a real thorn in their side.
It's so rare to see Astralis dying the way Hunter is killing them.
Exactly,
you know, like completely by surprise.
Yeah, they normally are the ones who establish the protocols on CT sides. Most of these maps and work out, okay, how can he shut down any sort of offensive approaches here, stop these good spawns from making their way in, but Hunter seems more than capable of getting through and actually being undetected every single time. He'll have the AWP for now, considering he's low, and Device giving this round up, holding towards T-spawn, looking for any sort of exit frags here, and there might be an opportunity for a couple. First is his, second not so much, and it will be the AWP held onto a Hunter. Doesn't want to challenge that again. He knows he hasn't really got the advantage at all. Double digits over G2, a solid round there. How sustainable will this approach be, though? Just sending one player quickly out of the main entrance, a few flashbangs behind him and set smokes as well. I'm sure Astralis will start plugging the holes with the incendiaries. One buy available for them. So you can see them discussing it now. Zonek's not happy.
Like, that death is enough for a timeout and a conversation.
Exactly. It's like the fact that you're not even aware that you can get towards the bomb site that quickly suggests something's not going quite right here. But G2, they know that they'll be adjusting right now. With this tactical timeout, they know where the weaknesses are on the Astralis side. Do you just go for a straight-up inside execution here? Do you just kind of change things out completely, knowing they're going to be adjusting for your previous plays?
It's such a, I was thinking something similar, and then I remembered that Zipex is such an animal at either he'll take his multi-kill and leave you with, you know, 2.5 players for your post plan, or will G2 not be daunted by a famed B defender? For now, it seems like it's going to be rinse repeat. But this time, the mollies, the flashes, the players, everyone was ready to greet Hunter.
I'm not sure why you would do that again. After they take a tactical timeout and did it twice in a row, it just seems like that's the obvious call. They're going to counter you there every single time.
Look at the intricacies of Dupree. He actually jumped so his legs wouldn't be spotted in that smoke on his cross to E-Box, and they're profiting all over the map. Coach Cam ready to see a roar, a guttural roar leave the mouth of Zonik. Because Kenny, this round and his days are numbered.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that from G2. That's like the last call I'd be making after you've had 2 successful rounds like that, like kind of anomalies that shouldn't be happening. Like a team like Astralis shouldn't be letting that sort of exploit happen time and time again. But you've just gone and run it once more on a huge round as well. That's broken you financially, and they're knocking on the door of series points here.
Yeah, that molly just came straight from Green Train.
Yeah.
You know, there's the solution right there.
They took a tactical timeout. Like, of course they were going to counter that. Either way, G2 are going to buy. He said their money was broken. They're going to bring 2 MAC-10s into round number 25. Could be curtains for the international squad if they give this round up. Have to be fast-paced, you'd assume. Maybe focusing towards a pop dog with the SMGs.
This game has seen so many rounds of play. 29 on Dust 2.
Overtime on Inferno.
Overtime on Inferno, and now, well, 14-10. Will this be the most convincing victory, or do G2 still have something left in the tank? Everything thrown into this round and sacrifices galore. MAC-10s in that inner sight, I mean, there are situations, there are setups, there are smokes that could make them do a whole lot more than they bargained for. And it's going to look to keep those CTs paying attention, but completely ignored. Still 3-man lean. 1 pop as well. Ready for the quickest of flanks. So lots of presence, but a change of plan. Dupree immediately responding in kind. That smoke's so difficult to deal with as well. And then some, tagging up Amanek just into the tippy toes. This is quite reminiscent of one of those rounds on Inferno where G2, the first plan and the second plan went awry. Unfortunately, the option C often involves running out of time. 27 seconds now, Henry.
Yeah, and that's ticking away at some pace. First shot will be successful there. The AWP connects, no problem. Magisk with the AWP in hand. Dupree looking for series point here. The bomb goes down. I think that's it, because with 10 seconds remaining, they won't even get close to the bomb site here. Better off to saving the AK-47s. Kenny S stuck in a bit of a precarious position here with 4 seconds remaining as well. They're going to aim to take him down after the timer to guarantee he gets no money. Device will beat him to the punch, though, so at least Kenny will have that going forward here. But next set, no extra cash, $1,500. He might have to drop I don't know, a MAC-10 or a pistol or something like that. They have got $3,400, so at least they get Galils each. But now need 5 rounds in a row just to take us to overtime here. Doesn't look likely at all. Astralis in very convincing form in the second half. So far, only given up 2 rounds. Currently sits at 8-2 overall in the second. Maximum loss bonus, but there they are. The 3 Galils, a MAC-10. Next on the AK, save from the previous.
Aggressive from Hunter. This time it bears fruit. Supported by the flash of Amanek. Dupree didn't have much to say about that. Punished for his early posture. Device was investigating the possibilities of Trey towards the brown holes, but nothing going to be given instead. Next up, making an arrival in Pop, as the smoke does too. Can they maintain this man lead? Gosh, Hunter is lucky to be alive. 19 points of health as the bullets scatter around him, but still, he's kicking, and so is Magisk. Kicks Jax down a peg or two. Into the site they go with his bomb just in his hands. Amanek not gun on, and he's been slapped for it. Kenny, however, looking to do something, anything to stop this from happening. Nexa finds an important frag. 2 versus 2.
Yeah, this is all down to Magisk now. Device will hold the backtracks, but it's the close range AWP. Now we'll try and find the next frag here. Not going to happen, surely. Discovered in position. He's going to be sprayed down. 2 versus 1. Device with the Krieg. Still a fighting chance here, but he needs to make this a one-on-one as quickly as he possibly can. Kenny S will get himself on top of Green Train. Bomb still to be planted, and now that's going to be the final frag coming through. G2 keep their head above water for now. Money actually pretty broken on the Astralis side. Got $4,000 for Zipex, $2K for Device, $3,500 for Magisk here. So it might just have to be the partial buy and close things out properly. You don't really want to force this one, because this is going to open the door of opportunity a little bit too wide.
Yeah, why make it easier?
Yeah.
See this again from Hunter. He's got aggression in his bones.
Yeah, he got the flashbang from Amanek there from T-Spawn as well. So a nice coordinated assault towards Pop Dog this time, knowing that they're focusing most of their efforts in terms of utility towards main entrance and all off. So not even a partial buy, pretty much full eco. Makes sense. 4-man stack towards outside. Shouldn't be a problem here for G2. As next will open things up. One Deagle kill for Dupree, remember, don't really have much more than that Deagle and armor, so G2 is helping themselves to the map at this point, but it's starting to fall apart. The USPs surely isn't the way they go out here.
Yeah. Twitch chat now, typing the N, the O, the T, and the rest is like this. Magisk not going to be able to connect in the same way Dupree and Zipex have, and now things do start to be saved. It's Hunter cleans things up. Just a 5-7 for Zipex. He shouts and screams where he is, and already one more chance and he won't be able to find their head. So that's the 12th with a full eco from Astralis. The war of attrition will continue. Margin for error absolutely 0. And if ever there was a time for a player on G2 to find their footing, it would be Amanek, yet to break double digits yet. And that's the fragging capacity perhaps missed in some of these close rounds. There has been so many down to the wire rounds. And now, I said margin for error is 0. G2, they were given an opportunity. They picked up Dust 2. In a surprise victory that the analysts and others watching did not see coming. Then into Inferno, not only that, but we see G2 take a 10-5 half. Then it's going this long, arduous task. Another 10 rounds in response from Astralis takes us into overtime, and G2 could not stomach the overtime. 4-0 for Astralis to secure us and take us to train. This is now where they have just one round away from getting themselves and maintaining themselves a spot in the upper bracket.
It's absolutely true, Alex. G2 need 3 rounds in a row on the T-sided train, which hasn't looked too good for them, but they are fully equipped here. Can't say the same thing for Astralis. They have the weaponry and the armor, but only 1 diffuse kit here, missing a little bit of grenades as well. We're going to see a faster approach towards Ivy this time with a bomb on the back of Jax, making its way towards the Ivy position. Magus is there with the M4A4, Glaive in tow. Device alone with the AWP towards inner, allowing them to have 4 players stacked outside here.
This HE could do a whole lot of work, and small price to pay perhaps, because Kenny's caught Magisk on the extension, and Jax immediately finds his W key, and he presses it so hard, but Glaive, he's found Mouse 1, and through the smoke he's found Kenny, 27. He's battered, he's wounded, and he's not stopping there. Glaive's putting in so much work, but Nexa finally silences him. Now advantage for G2 once again. And Amanek on to do pre. This does look like it's going to be now almost impossible for the Astralis defense. Device and Zipex, though, can't think of a better pairing.
Yeah, you're absolutely dead on there. Amanek, though, hightailing it towards inside. Hunter's confirmed that area is clear. Once that bomb goes down, Zipex and Device will just have to save the weapons they have right now. Retake just not on their agenda. Next, patrolling the outer perimeter, making sure there's no rotations towards connector at least. And there it is. Bomb to go down, round over, and G2 will keep fighting back, looking for a second serving of overtime, perhaps. As we'll see, round number 28 fall in their lap. It's going to be 15-13. This bonus will be at the third stage after this one. So it's going to be $2,400 on top of what they have right now, which isn't much, let me tell you.
That's a good frag, though. Takes the AWP away. You already highlighted that Astralis are on almost nothing.
Yeah, so they're going to have to let this round slip by, and presumably the next one as well. And then at that point, it could be right down to round number 30 and potential overtime.
Yeah, well, that frag onto Device. I mean, there is a world in which Astralis coming in with an AK and an AWP make a good go of this second round, or this next round of play. But now, I just have to respect it. Play around the Zipex Kevlar. We bring in a kit as well into the mix, a couple of things to make the possibility of a round 29 victory for Astralis. But yes, the picture, it does seem rather clear. You know, we've got all the foundations. You've done the sky, the clouds, the sun. I already know it's a landscape, but there's still some hills that have to be drawn.
A few hills in the background starting to become clearer as time goes on. Zipex, like we said, saved AK, but they're going to get $2,900 on top of what they have right now into the next round, of course, if they lose it. And that's going to be a pretty decent buy, but not everything. So they can't really even justify Deagle's armor or anything like that. It's going to have to be up to Zipex as Hunter continues his aggression at the start of every single round, it seems. Yeah. Quickly makes his way out of Pop Dog this time and swarming towards the outside bomb train. But that's exactly where Zipex is waiting. Only good for one, however, and Hunter making light work of the rest of the defense here.
Yeah, he's true to his name. He really is, especially on train. He's insane, gets two, but now the CTs, with the bomb down, they've actually got a pretty good opportunity to try and chip away at them. It's been taken from them, though. Quick exchange, all favoring the French. And so 14 is on the board. It comes down to the 30th round. No surprises. This has just been the case of not only Counter-Strike, but especially in this series. These two teams have been so hard to separate. See that again from Zipex. He brought the rifle to the right site, Hank. There was a chance, but he was quickly dealt with by Hunter, and he didn't stop there.
Hunter just leaping down the throats of the defense there, making sure he trades out all the kills and averting all sorts of danger. We are going to get into round number 30 here. Can they take us to overtime and reset everything once again? First shot for Magisk. It's a nice one as well. Kenny S completely rattled towards the main entrance position. The M4 does some considerable damage there, Alex, but it's really scrappy now. Astralis maintaining the lead. It looks like they might have done enough. 3 versus 2. Hunter painted into a corner towards Pop Dog, down to 55 points of health. Device above him as well. Oh my goodness, that was ambitious. AWP not quite connecting, and Hunter, he'll have to fly up the ladder at this point. He burns to a crisp, the bomb goes down. It's an absolute nightmare scenario as Nexa left with a 3 versus 1. He pulls one back, but he's down to 14 HP.
Does smoke out Device. That's the bomb. Gosh, Hunter had such a blink, split-second decision to make there as the molly arrived. And it's going to cost him. Astralis, it was an arduous task. G2, a fantastic amount of resistance, but Astralis will continue to the upper bracket. We have the chance, as the desk have been highlighting, to see Astralis and Liquid in the upper bracket.